Constantine was a famous Roman general from the 4th century, and he was once leading his army into battle, and his army was heavily outnumbered. And the day before the battle, he looked into the sky, and he saw a cross, and he heard these words from heaven, "In this sign conquer." He trusted in the cross by having his soldiers put crosses on their shields, and he ended up winning the battle. You should listen to me because the cross has had a major impact on history for thousands of years, and because of this, we should all understand the true meaning behind it. According to the editors of Encyclopedia Britannica, in 2014, the cross has been found in Christian, Catholic, and Egyptian cultures. And the cross has had a major impact on many cultures around the world. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about the cross. First of all, I want to look at the use of the cross by the Romans as a tool for the crucifixion of criminals. Second, I want to talk about the good and bad uses of the cross from the Roman time until today. And finally, I want to talk to you about how the cross is still important for us today. The Roman use of the cross for the crucifixion of criminals took place in around the 1st century AD. And this was a very cruel, painful way to die. The Romans literally nailed you to the cross. They put nails through your feet and through the palms of your hands. And you were left to hang on the cross until you died. And Linda Alchin, who's a very accomplished author on Roman culture, and who's been used as a source for historical information by several different groups of people, in an article published on July 9th, 2014, said that when you were hanging on the cross, you could die in one of several different ways. One of these was through suffocation, because when you were hanging on the cross, there was a tremendous strain placed on your torso, and this made it very hard to exhale. So some people would slowly, over hours or maybe even days, suffocate. Also, you could die from exhaustion, dehydration, or simply from the pain of being nailed to the cross. This was obviously a very cruel use of the cross, and it's important because this is what made the cross a common symbol that we all see today. And this is what the act of crucifixion is what gave it its religious significance because of their crucifying Jesus. The cross has had many bad and good uses from the time of the Romans until today. One of these bad uses is the use of the cross by crusaders, who, without ever trying to make terms of peace with the Muslims, went and tried to take back their land for themselves. Another bad use is that of the Ku Klux Klan, who burned crosses. And interestingly, they said that they did this as a way to honor the cross, just as the proper way to dispose of the American flag is by burning it. But Sandra Day O'Connor, who's a Supreme Court Justice, in 2003 delivered the opinion of a court case called Virginia v. Black. And she's qualified to do this because she graduated from Stanford University with a degree in law, and she's a Supreme Court Justice. And she said that the Ku Klux Klan did burn crosses at least some of the times to intimidate African Americans. So this was obviously a very wrong use of the cross. There have been many good uses of the cross between the time of the Romans and today. One of these is the use of the cross by churches. They put this symbol on their building to show their religious beliefs. This is appropriate because the cross is a very important religious symbol. Another good use of the cross is that of the American Red Cross, which uses this symbol to represent their giving of life to others, just as Jesus gave life to Christians. And there have been many good and bad uses of the cross from the time of Christ until now. And I now want to talk about why the cross is still important for us today. First of all, it is important for us today because of its historical significance. I have shown you that Egyptians, Christians, and Catholics have all used the cross in their culture. And interestingly, the Nazis have as well. The swastika is actually a form of a cross, and it was chosen by Adolf Hitler for use by the Nazis because it is found in Germanic history, and it represents the Aryans, who Hitler believed to be the master race. It is also important because it is a symbol of life. As I've said, the Red Cross uses this symbol as they go around the world giving life to those in need. And Christians believe that it is their source of eternal life because of Jesus' death on the cross. And finally, the cross is important for us today because it is one of the most important religious artifacts of all time. According to Stephen Beale, who has a proper bias because he is a Catholic himself and has written about Catholicism, when Romans make the sign of the cross, Roman Catholics, they are actually praying. So the cross is actually a form of prayer. This is obviously a very important religious symbol for them. It is also important for Christians because they believe that it is through Jesus' death on the cross that they have eternal life. So for these three reasons, its historical significance, its meaning as a symbol of life, and its religious significance, the cross is very important for us today. In this speech, I've talked to you about the historical importance of the cross and why it still has meaning for us today. We have looked at the use of the cross by the Romans as a tool for the execution of criminals, which was important because it gave the cross its current day meaning. We have looked at the bad and the good uses of the cross between the time of Christ and today. And finally, I've showed you why the cross is still important for us today. And even as Constantine respected the cross and trusted in it, we all need to respect the cross as we remember its religious, historical, and current day significance. Thank you.